Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, Delightful Creations. I'm Amber. Today I'm going to work on my cover for my fall journal, and I'm not for sure yet what I'm going to do with it, but I know that this is my signature, so I'm going to pull that out to the side. The main thing that I want to get done is obviously reinforcing the spine on the inside, so I've just pulled in some cardboard scrap. This is obviously Apple Jacks, and I'm going to grab my cutter here so that I can just trim this down. And so this is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to double up 2 pieces of cardboard, and I was going to see if it was long enough to go like this and make it really nice and simple, which it looks like it is. So that way I don't have to measure twice, right? I measure twice when you can do it once. Question is the cutting board going to cut it? And it's about a width between my 2 fingers. I want these pieces to fit right here between the 2 book boards, right in the center of that spine. Okay, so then if I measure my finger, the width-wise, it's about a little over 1/2 inch. So I'm going to pull in my cutter. I don't know why I opened up the, the end of it there, but you know. And I'm going to go 3/4 inch. That way I can trim it down to where I need it to be once I have it cut. So we're going to see if it cut through all those layers, which really was only 2 layers, but yeah, it did a pretty decent job. And that's just going to help me get that ready to go. Okay, so 3/4 inch I know is a little bit too fat. It's going to have a hard time closing together. So I'm going to just shave it down from here. And this is how I did the spine on my other books that I've done, that you have just seen completed. So I'm going down just a slight bit more, and since last time 3 wasn't enough, we'll go 4 and see if that'll cut through there a little nicer, and it did. I'm just ripping it off where it didn't cut, and I'm going to take my scissors and trim it up. It doesn't need to be super pretty or anything like that, and then I'm going to use my Elaine's Tack It glue, and I will glue it down. And nobody will see any of this once we have it in the journal itself. So it's not too big of a deal if it's, like I said, completely straight or whatever. If it has a little bit of roughness to it, that's all right. All right, let's give that a test fit and get this out of my way. There we go. Alrighty, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it down because I want it to match with inside the book here, because I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing. So I'm following the edge papers that are on the inside here. So I know that I need to trim this one right here somewhere. So I'm going to fold that up, and I'm just going to snip off the end of that. And it's okay if it's a little bit short, not a big deal. And there we go. So I'm going to do a test fit by closing my book now, because I want to make sure that that is going to be closed. And if you want your book to be even stronger in the spine, of course you can add a little bit thicker of cardboard or chipboard or fabric or, pretty much anything. But I'm just going to be using these 2 pieces of cardboard to do mine. And then I've got to figure out what I want to do for the center. Do I want a hidden spine? Do I want a ribbon enclosure? So these are all kinds of things that I need to think about. Oh, my glue wants to come down. Before I really begin adding the decorative papers to make this look really pretty. So I know that I want this to be a writing journal. I'm not going to be adding a whole lot of ephemera pieces to this, but certainly some. So if it does get to be too chunky, I can just take a ribbon and go ahead and tie it around the outside of the book. So I don't think I'm going to have a ribbon on the inside. And my thought behind that is sometimes with the ribbon, it writes on your paper, it raises it. And I don't really like that. And also that I don't know, I think I'm going to leave, because it's such a pretty paper, this fall cream here. And I think I'm just going to leave that natural. I don't think I want to cover that up with any with any papers, just the spine here. So that'll be kind of fun. So what I'm doing is I'm just gluing that down to the middle here. I'm not going to add glue here yet because, you know, we don't have anything to put on top of it. So this is what I mean by like covering the spine. Taking a decorative paper and then just going over the spine and then pressing that in, obviously, and then you would sew through here. You could do a hidden spine, which I would have needed to have done that before I glued this in. I can still do it if I cut another piece and glue that in after I've sewn the signature to the cardboard itself. Okay, I'm not too worried about that. This one has a nice spine back here, black. So black, like, you know, really isn't that fall. It's kind of spooky, like Halloween, but not the type of book we're going for. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe we'll jazz this up, do some collaging or something. And I always like to add like fabric or lace or something to the edge. I think that just makes it pop. So as far as the front here, with the papers that I've pulled out, you know, this would even be really cute for the front with the black background. It frames it really cutely. But that means I would have to use 2 of these papers. So let me grab some stuff and I'll be right back. All right, so I really didn't have to even look that hard. Right next to me, I have a stack of my scrapbook papers, which I need to move. But anyways, this one was right on top. And so there's a couple of pieces just sitting here that were like felt type of stickers, fall with a pumpkin. And I wouldn't hate that, but it's so thick. It is so fat. But anyways, this is like a little kit. I have no idea what's in here. I bought this off of Facebook last year. So let's just pull it out and kind of see what there is in here. And that way I know that we'll have a lot of options and I won't feel bad about using, you know, 2 pages to make it match. So there's just some photo corners. We have some alphabet stickers and some other fun stickers here that we'll be able to use if we want. Mainly I was looking for papers just to really tie in this journal. Oh, and there's some stickers at the back as well. Oh, 2 packs of stickers, actually. Some really pretty foil fall stickers. And then some more like words. And these are just leaves. And then these are like pumpkins and stuff. So it's really pretty. Didn't even know that was back there. I just thought it was paper. Okay, let's see here. So I have no room to work as always. Okay, so obviously this is my journal. And opening this up, I know it's going to be fully a 12 by 12 sheet. And that's where adding a fabric or lace allows you to only use one 12 by 12. And remember, all the pieces that I pulled out, that I cut down that were a 12 by 12 are not anymore. So this would be a perfect scrap to go ahead and have going on the front. And that would use this up and I would just have a little piece left, which wouldn't be bad at all. And, you know, I could even just leave that and have it be covering the spine this way. But I don't like doing that because it's paper and it has this gusset here. And I just like to have a nice black border. I know it will stick. I don't have to worry about it peeling or cracking or bubbling. So I'm going to trim that one down, I think. But let's take a quick look at the other options that we have for papers. So there's this one here with polka dots, which I like. I do like this, but I don't think I want it on the front. It's just a little bit too much for me. And of course, the same paper that I've chosen, the more polka dots. A really nice textured looking orange. That's really pretty actually. And then I don't know what this pattern is called with this diamonds. Just like an all over diamond, geometric maybe that's the word for it. Ooh, look at this green, is so pretty. So 2 greens. So yeah, just basically almost the whole kit it looks like. So that's really cool. Just one orange is the only one that had one single page. So yeah, let's go ahead and use those stripes. I think that's going to be my winner. And I'll get this out of the way here. We don't need anything else for right now. And what I'm going to do is grab my trimmer again, because I've stacked everything on top of it. So I am that handy. All right, I'm going to grab my book here, and I'm going to measure how wide my book is. So it is about 8.5. So I know I want a border. So I'm going to go 8 inches with my paper. Okay. And then this direction, I'm going to fold my book in half, back up here to my trimmer. I don't know why I measure this way, but this is what I do. So when I'm looking at it, it's just a slight bit longer than 5.5. So I would go 5 inches. So 8 by 5. So I want 2 pieces, 8 by 5. And now I'm going to go ahead and just trim this down to 8. So I don't have to do that twice. and then 5. I'm going to have to do this one twice, but that's all right. 5 inches. And then this is kind of cool because we get to pick which one we want on the front. This one could have a little bit more green. I get to choose which end of here I want to cut off. So this one has a lot more cream on that side. I kind of like the green in there, so I'm going to flip it around this way and have more green instead of all that cream. Alrighty, so now I have my 2 pieces ready to go to my cover for the front. So I'm going to set my trimmer down here, grab my cover, open it up again. So this should be, you know, plenty dry. Not that I'm messing with the spine at all today. And I get to decide which piece I want on the front or the back. And see how nice, okay, pretend that's not there. See how nice that looks with a nice black border. I'm not impressed with this cut job though. So I'm going to turn that to the inside because what's going to happen for me is it's going to get covered. I'm going to come overlap probably to my paper here. And I think I like that. And there's a little spot here that isn't quite trimmed down. So just help the trimmer along. There we go. And you can use Mod Podge. You can use glue. I wouldn't recommend glue stick because I'm not going to be sewing on here. It's a hardcover, you know, book. I'm not going to take that to my sewing machine. But if I wanted to add sewing to this, I would just sew to the paper and then glue it down. Now again, my sewing machine is not working and I don't know how to use the new one. Plus time-wise, as far as crafting goes today, sorry, messing with the camera. I think I'm just going to go ahead and use my glue and pop it down onto the actual cover. So I'm going to use Elaine's Tack It and I'm going to go around the whole edge. Wow, there was a bubble there. And go inside the center as well and glue that down to this book. And I'm going to use my scraper. I don't have my brayer. My brayer is upstairs. I've been making journals like a crazy mad woman. I have 5 different ones. Well, this one now is 6. I have 6 different journals that I'm working on. I'm done with 2. So, you know, technically those are done. But I just finished the second one today. So I've been busy, and trying to keep all of my supplies as organized as possible. I'm going to slide that up a little bit. I'm attempting to get this center, and it's okay if it's not because I'm going to have some fabric and I'm going to do some layering. This is just the first layer. So like I said, I want to have a brayer, which I don't have one. So I'm going to use my gift card, and hopefully we won't have a whole lot of glue coming out of the edges. So if we are going to have the glue come out, I'd rather it do it now where I can just wipe it off. And I'm actually going to grab a baby wipe. I see Tina from Shabby Dabby Duda do that so that it doesn't leave a smear mark behind once you've glued. And, you know, just get that off of there. So anyways, I hope this is going to be a fun little project for you to enjoy watching come together from the beginning stages to the end. And I may, like I said, I may do some of the things off camera, but I don't really see myself doing that, being how I want it to be a writing journal. I'm not going to be doing a lot of embellishing. And if you watched my 17 favorite things, you'll have seen the fox video. So I definitely want to use a couple of those pages or elements in this journal here. And then now that I've found some pretty fall leaves, I think that's kind of be, you know, some stickers and just a little bit of fun things here and there, but mainly just for writing. I really like to take time and reflect in the fall, and I have enjoyed last year when I did my journal where I wrote down every single day. I skipped a few days and I had to go back, and that was really difficult to do, to like remember what happened. And some days I journaled about what happened that day. Other times I journaled about something I was thankful or grateful for, and you know, that kind of thing. And if I don't feel like journaling, then that's when I come in and I have a play and I do a collage and I just write a quote. Really simple journaling. So I just like having my journal ready to go. I don't have to cram for time to get it finished, you know, and it'll be just nice and done. And I can start doing it now, because technically we've passed summer. We're past the first day of fall, which was a really fun day. Oh, goodness. Not that I remember anything in particular about that day, but I just always like to think about it like that. So there, and then this is nice cream paper, and so it'll kind of tie in here. And I do have a decent strip piece left, but it's not long enough to cover all the way up here. We could try this one, but I want it to be a little bit longer. And of course, I don't like it's not necessarily a ripped edge, it is a scissor cut edge. So I think I'll use the other piece from the paper pad, and we will, well, I was kind of looking off to the side here. I was thinking about using this, this fall leaf here, but I think I really do want to use the same from the cover on the inside. And so I'm going to pull out the other striped. I really like the pattern, like this pattern a lot. And I think it'll match really nice with this cream here. So I'm going to pull this in, and I'm going to use a, I'm going to go with a 3-inch strip. So that way I know it is big enough to go into all the little cracks and such. And it will cover it, and I won't have to worry about it like slipping off and getting lost. And I'm trying to remember. I think this, actually, I really don't know if this is 8 or not. So I'm going to go 8.5. I know the whole book is 8.5. That way I don't cut myself short. And I'll just put that scrap in my little bin. And then so I'll come in here now, and I will do my measure this way. And I will mark it like this with my fingernail. So it's just a little bit less than that. Right there. Okay, let's give that a try. A quick fit. A quick fit. There we go. Beautiful. So this scrap I'm going to toss. Anyways, here is the tricky part about gluing in the middle of your book that I found. I'm going to add glue to the very center of this spine, and this is slick. So I'm going to grab my little sanding pad, again, thanks to Pam at the Paper Outpost, and I'm going to rough this up a little bit because the glue is going to hold a lot better to that glossy paper. I'm just scrubbing that gloss off, okay? So there we go. It's probably the first time you've ever seen me use sanding block, right? That's what she calls her little friend. I'm going to add a bunch of glue to this, and that's the only spot that I'm going to glue down for right this minute. Okay, I'm going to align this. I want this side to the front, so I'm going to align it to be about halfway. It's okay if it's not. And I'm going to press down, and I don't care if the glue comes out. I'll take care of that if it does. And I'm just going to keep pressing. Now with Fabrifix, you don't have to hold this as long or anything like that. But with this Elaine's Tack-It, I'm going to have to hold this on there. And I'm going to give myself a nice good press here on the side. I'm pulling this up so it's already marking where I need to glue next. So I will glue right here on this side, and then I'm going to fold this one up as well. Give us a nice press. Not too hard. You don't want to rip. I mean, this is pretty thin scrapbook paper, but I'm giving myself a nice little idea of where I need to glue. So I don't necessarily want to glue in this crack and try pushing the paper in there. I need this book to open. So to do that, I don't want to glue in there, if that makes any sense, in that little crack. I like my books to lay flat, and if I glue in there, it could make it stretch, and then it would rip. I mean, in all likelihood, it probably is going to rip, because I'm going to be, you know, using this. But here's the fun part. Now, I get to glue down the flap. I get to decide if I want to have a small pocket. If I wanted a larger pocket, I could add that now as well. I would add another back piece here, like this, pull it out, and I could have a double pocket. I'm not too keen on having pockets in this journal. Like I said, more of a writing journal. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this entire flap down. Might be a little bit excessive on the glue, but again, I don't want to have to come back in here and do that later. So I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to pull my book up, and I'm going to press. I hope you can see that. I'm just pressing this paper in there. Okay, because I don't want it to go and be too tight in that flap. See what I'm talking about? It's sliding. So I'm going to press it again. It'll just work itself into the groove instead of me fighting it. Okay, see, I don't know how to even explain it to you. Just press it in there and open and close your book a few times, and it will go where it needs to go. And that's the only reason why I like to use Elaine's Tack It over Fabrifix on this particular part of a journal, because Fabrifix will grab it and it will hold it in place. And if I would have tried to do that with Fabrifix, my book would still be laying like this up. But now it's nice and glued in that little gusset there, right here, between this book board and this divot here. My paper is laying in there. I could press it more and more, but it's pretty much dry. It's going to hold. I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to do the same thing with the second flap. And that's how you get a nice flat edge, no bubbling or very little bubbling. Sometimes it may bubble, especially with paper, right? And I'm adding a lot of glue. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pull it up and press it in, but I'm not pressing it completely into this crack here, because when I pull this back down, it's going to grab it on its own. I don't really have to work for it. Okay, and I have a little bit of glue seeping out. Wipe that off. There we go. These baby wipes are really wet. And they're just cheap dollar. I got them at the hardware store because my son had a bloody nose inside, so that was what I did. So I'm just going to give this a nice little close here, and you can see over the top here the cardboard. Okay, I don't really care if you can see the cardboard that way. I don't look at my journal like this, so it doesn't bother me. You know, but we can also add some lace or something fun, and it would cover it up. But yeah. So I'm seeing a little bit of bubbling here, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. And I can still work it because this side is still wet. So I'm pressing it down in there. You can use your card here, but you got to be really careful, or a pair of scissors or a pen to get it down into that gusset pocket there. It's not a pocket, the gusset of the book where it joins together. Okay, so that is the start of my cover. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much. So fun. Okay, let's grab another little, I want something, and see, that's why I like using kits for this particular reason, because it matches. No matter what I put on here, it's going to match. But I also wanted to see here what I had made for foxes. I have this lovely lady here, and she is too big. She's not going to fit in this journal unless I cut her feet off, or I cut off the friends at the top. And, you know, and then, of course, we've already covered this, so we're not going to be using her. And then here's a fun page. And then we have a journal card, which would be really fun to have on the front. I just wish that she stood out a little bit more. I have a pocket, and then I have a belly band. Isn't that cute? Oh, my goodness. Okay, so nothing for the journal cover, but I wanted to give you a quick test of what we're going to be putting inside. A little, whoa, sneak peek. I just dropped the baby monitor, so sorry about that. Turn that back up a little bit. Okay, let's see here. Let's do, it's a little bit wet in the back, but not bad. A few glue clumps, like right here. But the front is completely flat and dry. I really want that to dry, so I'm going to give it a minute. And at this point, it doesn't matter which way you have your book cover going, especially if you're going to cover this up. So if I decided that, you know, this side turned out better, no problem. I can use this for my front. Because I haven't done anything to be directional just yet, if that's kind of your thing, where it's directional for you, like it is me, and you want it to be matchy-matchy. Okay. So anyways, back to this. I'm going to go with this being my front. I really like this particular pattern. There's a little bit more orange back here, and I like the deeper orange. Anyways, fall is fabulous. I really like that sentiment, but it's quite small. Let's see what other stickers we have over here. And these ones, of course, didn't come with this kit, so they're going to be a little bit different. Family is for always. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love family. Fall greetings. That kind of reminds me of a fall card. I did give thanks last year on a journal cover, so that was really fun. Autumn. Autumn kind of sets the tone, I think, for this journal here. And this is an extra sticker. This is just that these 2 leaves here are attached to Autumn, and I would pluck these underneath down here. So I think I'm going to go with this being my my word up here. I think that's the one I want to use, even though these came with the paper kit. And even though it's gold, right? I always tell you guys, I don't like gold. I don't like gold. Okay, I don't fancy gold. I don't think it looks ugly in a lot of cases, but on this particular one, I think it'll look really pretty. So I'm going to pull this one off, and I'm going to attach it to my finger for a little bit. And then I'm going to pull off Autumn because I want these stickers to go together. Let's not rip it though, right? Let's not rip the sticker. We only have one. I'll have to start over again. Oof, it doesn't want to come off. There we go. Okay. So I think I'm going to place this one maybe like that. Right there. That's where its little home is. And it just adds a nice little feature. And I'm going to go towards the top here and make it about center-ish. Because remember, oh, isn't that gorgeous? I'm going to be adding a little bit of lace on this side, so I don't want it completely, you know, over. Autumn. Aw, it's cute. Isn't that precious? Oh my gosh. I'm digging it. This is so pretty. So pretty. Okay. I don't want to add any more stickers to the front. I'm going to leave that just like that. Okay. So that is going to be my little cover. And I might add a cluster down here, but I'm not for sure yet. I really like plain. It's not plain. I like it to be simple. I like each element that I add to be with purpose and to be functional and to be beautiful. And I just want it to be setting the stage for what's going to be inside here. So I don't really want to go over the top with adding a bunch of elements. So there we are. I think we are done with the cover. Sorry for all that crinkling. And then what I'm going to do is sew in my pages once this has completely dried. This is still quite wet here. But I'll sew this in, and it just looks gorgeous. It looks just ready to go. Ready to go and just be able to create all kinds of fun writing and, you know, adding different pieces, some photos. I've got a couple pockets to glue in there. So I will do all the gluing of the pockets off camera, and I'm going to sew it in off camera as well, just to make the videos go a little bit faster. And this journal will be right about done. Thank you everyone for stopping by my channel. I hope it inspires you to get cozy and make yourself a little fall journal. All right, guys, we'll talk to you really soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.